Now, coming to you live from atop the Lavender Town Radio Tower, it's the one, the only, PUCL Podcast.
It's PUCL! PUCL! It's PUCL! PUCL! Pokemon Underground Champions League, oh yeah! PUCL! PUCL.
And welcome to the 436th episode of the PUCL Podcast. I'm your host, Trainer Thatch, here today with a couple of delicious co-hosts. That was wrong on a lot of levels, but that's okay.
I'll take it.
We've got Jushiro, the man, the myth, the legend.
Hello.
And then we've got the wonderful Fluffiest Whimsicott as well.
The whimsical Whimsicott.
Yeah. And I am apparently cotton candy today.
Cotton candy. There we go. The Dairy Queen by my house just started doing like a cotton candy flavored dip for the cones.
Oh, no.
I don't know what that tastes like, and I don't know that I care. But that's what I think of when I think of cotton candy.
It's probably something that would be right up my alley, let me tell you.
Probably, yeah, actually. But welcome to the PUCL Podcast. We talk everything here Pokemon, from the video game to the trading card game. To I don't know the anime sometimes, because the new anime is actually pretty exciting.
I have not seen it. I saw the first episode of
it's not dubbed yet, so don't worry.
Okay.
You're not behind the times yet. But from like the story elements, it seems like I don't know what they're doing with it, but there's so many cool things in it so far. And I said this about Sun and Moon, and I would say that Sun and Moon started off strong, and it kind of petered out near the end. But I'm hoping that they just don't come out of the gate swinging on this one like they did with Sun and Moon, and that this is like something that they're going to maintain going on. Maybe it's also because it's just different on top of that. But I mean, Ash is catching some cool things. Like Ash caught a Dragonite. He caught.
Oh wow!
Yeah, right. He also caught a Gengar, and I think he's getting a Riolu.
Wow.
So yeah,
wow,
right?
He's getting good Pokemon now.
Yeah, right. Well, I think the idea is like, hey, let's show off the other Pokemon with this other character who's just going to try to catch them all.
Right.
It really seems like they've balanced the two aspects of Pokemon that exist really well between Ash and the new character Go. And in that Go is the typical like collection completionist type person, because that's all he wants to do. He just wants to catch Pokemon. That's like Go's deal. He wants to catch all the Pokemon, and that's what he wants to do.
Of course, because his name's Go.
Which is like, you know, you have those people who just want to play the game and complete it, and then you've got Ash now, who's like getting all these quote unquote uber powerful Pokemon,
right?
And is somehow having an episode with Karina and being reminded that Mega Evolution exists. Game 3.
Oh no!
Mega Evolution is like the biggest thorn in my side, because they haven't hinted that it's coming back in Sword and Shield whatsoever, which is fair because they have Dynamax, and I would hate to see like Dynamax Mega Charizard or something like that.
Oh my god. Please don't even mention it 3 times in front of a mirror.
Yeah, I would hate to see something like that happen. But I think it's as simple as being like, oh, well, they use the energy to Mega Evolve, so they can't Dynamax. I think it would be as simple as doing that, like as an in-lore reason, and then just not letting it happen. Kind of like how Mega Rayquaza couldn't use Z-moves.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's something that we could definitely do. But Mega Evolution is like the biggest thorn in my side, just because it's everywhere except the main games right now. Like it's in Pokemon Mystery Dungeon DX.
It feels like they're mocking us.
It's in Pokemon Masters. Now it's in the anime, and I'm just like, why did you take this from me?
Yeah.
I have to say, I was one of those naysayers before with Mega Evolutions where like I don't necessarily, I understand it and I like it, but I don't love it because I thought it would like overpower it, and I thought maybe, Gigamax was going to be like a better option because everyone can Gigamax and all that. Nope, and now I can see, and it's like, yeah, no, I was wrong. I was 100% wrong. I am always right, but I'm willing to admit when I'm wrong.
Oh God. Let's not talk about that too much. And so, but I do miss Mega Evolution. I really miss Mega Evolution because it was done very well. Like, so many Pokemon are awful without it. Like Miles in the Sword and Shield Pokedex, but who cares? Because you can't Mega Evolve it. Like, who cares about that? That's just like that's probably the biggest example is Mile.
Yeah.
And then even if like Beetril comes back,
Sableye.
who cares? Yeah, Sableye's good without it.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Sableye's good without it. In the Gen 6 meta before Oraz came out, so you didn't have Mega Sableye. Sableye was actually pretty prevalent.
Okay. Yeah, because of
Prankster.
Prankster and the typing, it has things it can do.
Sableye is actually a pretty decent Pokemon on its own, and it can very successfully work without the Mega. So,
I gotta train one. I've never trained one. I need to do that.
yeah, it's an okay Pokemon. Yeah, that's my Sableye rant. But yeah, I miss Mega Evolution. I miss it, and it's everywhere. But what have you guys been up to lately? It's been a hot minute.
My butt print is incredibly well preserved in my office chair here at my house.
Mine as well.
Perfect. It's like I can almost hear the pop every time the suction pop every time I stand up. But yeah, so a lot of Animal Crossing.
Yeah.
A lot of trying to catch up with the TCG, but I was for those of you who heard the episode last week.
We should talk about that at some point offline.
Yeah. They canceled everything, and there's no data whatsoever to discuss. So the meta, all I know is Sassian is incredibly good. What counters does it have right now? We don't know, because we have no new data after the last tournament where Sassian was like, had an oversaturated presence in that tournament. So we know Assassins is really good, but we don't know anything else. And now with the championship canceled, we are stuck because PUCL.
Yeah.
PTCGO doesn't have any ability of, like, we can't extract competition information from PTCGO. So we, other than from players playing online and showcasing us and then telling us, we have no way of knowing what is going on right now and where is the meta headed. We just have no clue.
I don't think anybody does, to be fair. I've been playing a significant amount of TCGO, and I have found that it is not changed that much. You don't see a huge variety in decks.
Yeah, well, because people don't, all the variety of decks you see in PTCGO are just people finding deck lists.
Yeah, exactly.
There are no new deck lists.
There are new deck lists. I agree with that.
No, what's the word I'm looking for? Provable, right? Because obviously there are always going to be deck lists online, but we don't have the data to back up those deck lists to know whether or not they're good.
Awful. On top of that, competitions don't resume until like 2 sets later. So who even cares about the next set? Yeah. Like, who even cares? I mean,
we won't know till this is all over.
Yeah. I mean, until like September, maybe. I'm gonna put a hard maybe on September being when things pick back up. Yeah, we're not gonna know. And even then, like I said, you have a new set. It's probably after rotation. It's probably so. See you later, Cynthia and Escapeboard.
Yeah,
it's gonna be absolutely gross. What about you, Whimsicott? What have you been up to?
Let's say that I work on my couch, which is very bad on my back, but I don't have a good office chair. I will get that at some point. Anyway, so my couch and I have right now a deeper relationship than the one I have with my boyfriend, because I can't see my boyfriend and I spend all my day on the couch working, and the little time I have left, which is very little, after working and video calling my family every single day, because I am the oldest child and I need to keep people sane, is envying people who have time to play Animal Crossing.
You should play Animal Crossing. It's not bad. To be fair, I took like a week off from it just because I was tired of being caught up in like the middle of everybody else playing, and I wanted to sit down and played at my own pace, because this is the first Animal Crossing game I think I've really played when like other people have been around, because the only other option for that to have happened for me was New Leaf. And like it was fun at first, but I was just like, you know what, I just want to play at my own pace, and I don't want to feel like, oh man, I don't have enough recipes, oh man, I don't have enough this, I don't have enough that.
Well, it's also because many people online cheat and do the whole time traveling thing.
So the PUCL community has been pretty good about not doing that.
Okay, good.
And so they're pretty good about that. But at the same time, like in this new Animal Crossing, you have like a bunch of stuff at the beginning. Where where it's just like, oh, you can tell how many days you've been playing and like all this other stuff. And I hated like keeping up with people, like feeling I had to keep up. And I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna take a week off. That way I'm solidly behind everybody.
Yeah.
and then I can just play at my own pace now.
See, that's one of the reasons I didn't buy it. I was like, there's no way I have time to play this except like maybe 5 minutes a day and then, I don't know, half an hour on the weekend. Yeah. And I got the feeling that it was very much one of those games where, there's daily events and stuff that you have to do every day. And just, it didn't seem like, on one hand, I'm extremely stressed out and it looks like a very like chill and relaxing kind of game.
Yeah.
But the very same reason I would want to play is the same reason I don't know when to play it and how to play it, because I just don't have that kind of time that I feel should be put into the game. You know, if it was a game that you can play like, I don't know, half an hour every 3 days and be satisfied with it, I would like say, oh, sure, let me pick it up. But,
That's understandable. Yeah, I mean, I enjoy it. I was tired of trying to keep up because when Animal Crossing feels like work, that's no longer Animal Crossing. And
exactly.
I need to take a week, be solidly behind everybody, and do myself.
Yeah.
But I think that's a good place to stop. We have some news to talk about, so let's kick it on over to the news. So cue that epic music.
Live from the Lavender Town Radio Tower. This just in.
And welcome to the news. In the news, we have a few things to talk about. It's been a somewhat slow week, but there's a few things to talk about. Apparently, there's a new raid event going on in the wild area until April 15th, because the one thing Game Freak was like, said, hey, I heard you like your raids in the raids. And it turns out it's just baby Pokemon like Pichu, Munchlax, and Riolu. And Togepi, and I think Ditto as well, appear more frequently in raids.
Ditto has 5 guaranteed IVs, so 1 out of 32 is going to be a perfect one.
That's true. Maybe we should do more Ditto giveaways. But they also drop extra candy and EV boosting items. On top of that, I am kind of over raid events. I'm not gonna lie. I do like that some of the Gigantamax are more common, but I wish they would do. I don't know. I wish they weren't as rare to begin with. I think Gigantamax, not Dynamax, has been horribly done throughout this entire process. Like if there's one, like if I had to pick one gripe I had with Sword and Shield that wasn't Dexit, the answer would be Gigantamax. I think it's handled super poorly, 100% all of the way.
Fair.
I don't think there's a single thing about Gigantamax that was handled well.
I mean, the art. They look cool.
I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I don't agree with you there.
Oh, wow, okay.
I honestly think they have like a couple of slam dunks. One is Fat Pikachu, one is Orbito.
Yeah.
And then the rest is like,
like compared to Megas, where Megas felt like almost a complete redesign of the Pokemon, I feel like these were just like, what can we like? It's the equivalent of taking your van and then putting flames on the side and then saying, yeah, this van's way cooler now. That's how I feel about most Gigantamax designs. But I mean, that's obviously an opinion. I'm not saying that you can't. I mean, if you think they're cool and your favorite Pokemon's Gigantamax, G-Max, Garbodor, more power to you.
Art.
Okay, no, that's another slam dunk. That's Katamari Damacy, and that is another slam dunk.
I don't even know if that's like a design thing rather than like just like references out crazy number of references. Like that's how I feel about Fat Pikachu, because it's just like, oh look, Fat Pikachu, ha ha ha, he used to be fat.
I mean, we live in a culture that for the past like decade or so has lived entirely on references to previously made stuff. So
you're not wrong. You're not wrong, and I am a Pokemon person, so I am susceptible to references. So Jushiro, tell us about this other piece of news that came out this week that I'm sure is super exciting.
Well, things are hard, and the COVID-19 has been taking over the whole world, so it is a time of healing. It is a time of us getting together, and do not worry, because Sarud has us covered. It has been revealed that his new signature move is Jungle Healing, which basically restores health and removes status conditions for you and an ally Pokemon.
Well, and I don't know if it's just like all allies, because like there's a move that came in Sword and Shield called Life Dew, which that Togepi uses all the time in raids, that heals like everybody on your side of the field.
Right.
So it heals all of your allies. And so I'm wondering if this is Life Dew plus like Heal Bell.
Sounds like it. It doesn't specify you and one ally Pokemon, just specify you and ally Pokemon. So
Yeah.
Which is, I mean, so like Zarude, in my opinion, has become the most like meh mythical Pokemon that has ever existed. Like on so many levels. Like so mythical Pokemon are supposed to be like these cool rare things that people typically don't see, but the first Pokedex entry we ever got from it from the official website talks about them traveling in packs.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then it's just like, hey, it gets Leaf Guard. And we're all like, cool.
Ooh.
And then it's just like, here's a really cool signature move. It's just Life D plus Heal Bell. And it's like, wow, this Pokemon's absolutely useless.
Yeah.
I think they meant for it to be handled more in the context of like, hey, you're going to use this Pokemon to raid, which makes sense for like the first Gen 8 Pokemon, like mythical wise. So I'm okay with it from that standpoint, but like nothing about this Pokemon's exciting. Like absolutely nothing.
Yeah. No.
Not even its looks, honestly, I'm not a fan.
Oh, no.
No. I just think it is just like a miss on so many levels. On top of the fact that we got that DLC announcement where I go, man, they're going to make really cool, like, mythical, in quotes, Pokemon out of Kubfu and I forget the other one's name all the time.
What, Calyrex?
Calyrex, that's it. And I know there was a Y in it somewhere. And so, I'm just like, wow, these are really cool Pokemon that they're adding in that are going to kind of be like mythical Pokemon, but they're intentionally made to be legendaries. And I'm like, this is a really cool concept. We should keep going with that.
Yeah.
I'm super into it. And then like a couple of weeks after we got that announcement, they're like, here's a Pokemon that's only going to be a mystery gift. And then there's a movie with it.
Yep.
And it's like, cool. Everything you said got me unexcited.
Every word of that sentence was bad.
Nothing about that was exciting. And that's the story of Zarude.
Yeah.
Whimsicott, tell us about this next one.
Okay, so there will be a new episode of Twilight Wings on April 17th, and it and future installments will focus on the water-type gym leader Nessa, because apparently this anime department does know a good character design when they see one.
They just... Twilight Wings and Generations just knocked everything out of the park. They do so well, and the only problem is there's so little of it.
Yeah.
Like, there's just so little of it. Like, I think Generations did wonderful.
Generation was so good.
I thought Generations was done very well.
Beautiful, really well done. It was really well.
I really like Generations. Like, I will still go watch Generations episodes because I think they're a lot of fun to watch. And I think these are really cool as well because they just add on to the characters that are, I will say these characters are more present in Sword and Shield, though I will not say that they are developed as well in Sword and Shield. They are present though. They are more present than in previous installments. Like you see Ramos once. I saw the grass type gym leader in this game whose name I forgot already more than once. So that's a plus. That's a plus. Moving on in the video game. First of all, right now you're missing out. The battle competition to get Great Balls Guy shirt is going on. It's too late to sign up.
Ooh.
Sorry. I already got my battles in. I put in 5 battles. I'm 5-0, by the way. I'm pretty much the best Pokemon player that ever existed.
Yeah. Oh God.
And then, but due to an exploit, Game Freak is warned of disciplinary actions for players who frequently disconnect during ranked battles / competitions. Essentially, they're going to ban you from playing online Pokemon. This actually occurs by disconnecting your router from the internet, not turning off your Switch or something like that. But people do use that exploit, and they do get wins that way that would otherwise not be wins. Wow. Which is stupid. Like, how much do you care about climbing the ladder?
Yeah.
That you would do that, right?
It's not like you get much for it.
Right?
People just like to win no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
It's so stupid. I just don't get it.
It's not worth it. It's just not worth it.
It's their own looking for satisfaction.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so because this is also the Pokemon Go segment, we'll make that hard transition. Jushiro, tell me some more about Pokemon Go and how wonderful the battling is over there.
Don't I have news for you? So, Pokemon Go has released a leaderboard feature for the Go Battle League, because we all know how much we love having fights in Pokemon Go. It showcases the top 500 players in the world with their names, teams, ranks, ratings, matches, and hopefully address so you can go punch them in the face. I'm kidding. Much love for you guys, Pokemon Go players. Leaderboard is updated daily, and a special Marrow event occurred on Sunday, April 12th, to celebrate the arrival of Sipper in Animal Crossing. No, I'm kidding. But it is a special Marrow event occurred on Sunday, April 12th, and Marrow can also now be found as a shiny in the wild.
Look at that. Meryl. The egg-shaped Pokemon.
Mm-hmm.
The egg-shaped Pokemon. How about you take us home, Whimsicott? We got like one more thing to talk about.
Okay, so there is a new 1 Pokecoin bundle in the shop. This one gives you 20 Ultra Balls and 50 Pineapple Berries, which is not bad. I definitely purchased that. And then there's also a a code that Niantic has put out that can give you 8 Pokeball, 4 silver pineapple berries, and 4 golden raspberries, and I am going to spell it out, and
Do
you're
not
going
spell
to
it
hate
out.
me.
Do not spell it out. Just let them go to the Discord with the show notes and read it.
Okay, that's so much easier. Thank you.
Yes, it is a bunch of random letters.
Literally.
So go ahead, read it there. But other than that, I think that's most of the news. There's not much in PUCL news this week other than the bot's up and running. I built a schedule for it that's tentative, and we'll have an expanded one next week once I learn what people's habits are to use it, so that it is more readily used, and people will use the bot for getting whatever Pokemon they want and with the appropriate Patreon tier. But I really appreciate it, guys. We are going to kick it on over to Puckle's Poke Quiz, where we're going to quiz our co-host on their innate Pokemon knowledge. And welcome to Puckle's Poke Quiz, the part of the show where we quiz your co-host on their insane Pokemon knowledge. Whimsicott and Jushiro today are going to be operating together as a team to go ahead and answer 5 Pokemon-themed trivia questions, all coming from the Puckle Discord server. You can submit these trivia questions over at the Discord server. The link to that is in the show notes, as always. In the show notes. Discord link, show notes. That's where they are. Put those 2 words together. Cool. Moving on. Each question is worth 1 point, except for the one question that's worth more than 1 point. It's either worth 2 or 3, depending on how well or how poorly they're doing. I'm going to tell you, spoiler alert, this week it's going to be worth 2, mostly because I don't think you're going to get the three answer question this week. So,
I love your faith in me. It is well warranted.
You will not. I say you won't get it because I won't get it. I wouldn't get it.
Then it's not well.
Then there's no hope for anyone else.
Because I wouldn't get it. I mean, you might be able to make some educated guesses, but that's about it. So we're going to go ahead and do this. But this segment, as always, is brought to you by AnimeGravy.com. Your stop for everything anime/nerd related. Go support them. Like I said, with the COVID, all of the cons that they go to and sell at or have been shut down. These people are great. You should go drop them some business. I don't know if this is on their website, but they're sending me. They found out a way to do these coins that have the NFC amiibo data in them, and they're sending me some Animal Crossing amiibo data for a couple villagers that I wanted.
Yeah, he offered that or let me know of that too. They're such great people. Please go ahead and support them.
You should go support them because they're sending that to me. I will tell you they all work when they get here, and then we can talk about how Animal Crossing is amazing. But we're gonna go ahead and answer these questions, and we're gonna see if you guys can compete against your fellow co-host in a race to 30 points. Whoever gets there first gets a $20 credit to PokemonCenter.com because it's much better than TeePublic. So let's go ahead and jump into it. Our first question this week is from Liger. Which Pokemon cannot know a normal type move?
Interesting.
Very interesting.
Normal type Pokemon that doesn't learn a normal type move.
He didn't say it's a normal type. It just said it's a Pokemon that doesn't learn a normal type move.
I'll give you the free hint that it's not a normal type.
Okay, there we go.
We figured. Okay, so the usual candidates as for Pokemon who don't learn a lot of stuff are out because Wobbuffet knows Safeguard.
Yeah.
And Magikarp knows Tackle.
Ditto knows Transform. Wait, that's Psychic. Wait, Transform is normal or Psychic?
Transform is normal, I think.
Okay.
Ooh, that's a very, very specific. Wait. Is Splash normal? Yes, it is, right? Okay, so Cosmog is out. Dang, this is a really difficult question.
Blame Liger.
I see you, Liger.
What?
You also don't have to go very far into the Pokedex.
You don't?
Wait, I know this one then. Because I was thinking about it, and then I thought, no, there must be one move that it learns that's normal type, but it doesn't, and it's Weedle. I'm pretty sure it's Weedle.
Wait, String Chop is Bug?
Yes.
He doesn't learn Tackle.
He doesn't learn anything normal. Yeah, I know that Weedle is a Pokemon that learns very few moves, and...
Harden. Oh, but it doesn't count evolutions, right?
No, just Weedle.
No, Weedle,
think,
yeah.
Yeah, because I think it's Weedle.
Poison Sting.
Yeah.
Then String Shot, and what was the last one he learns?
I don't even remember, but I'm pretty sure it's not a normal type move.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, let's go with Weedle.
Weedle is correct. Weedle
so good
does not learn a normal type move. It is the only Pokemon that doesn't learn a normal type move.
Fun.
I know, it is so fun. It is that's interesting. I mean, it's Weedle. It is still Weedle. As far as Gen 7, the only moves that Weedle learns are Poison Sting, String Shot, and then at level 15 it learns Bug Bite.
Bug Bite.
It learns no TMs or HMs, and it's it's just Weedle.
There we go.
There you go. That's one.
Good job, Whimsicott.
Thanks.
Our next one is going to be from let's do it from Lord Snorlax. There we go. In Generation 3, there was a type that didn't have any TMs. What type is this?
Ooh.
Last week we asked that question for Generation 2, and the answer was flying.
Yeah. Okay, so it's been a hot minute since I played a Gen 3 game. And I don't usually use TMs a lot when I play games. So,
especially not the early ones where they break and you feel like you're wasting it.
Yeah, exactly. So, let's rule them all out. Like, there's for sure a normal type TM. Yep. There's sure a ground type TM, fire, ice, electric. For sure, we have
Bug.
So Steel Wing, because Steven gives you that. So that's out. What's the bug type one?
I'm thinking any of the this one, the one that hits harder every time you use it.
Oh, yeah.
Forgot the name.
Was that in Gen 3?
I think so. Fury Cutter.
Is that a TM though?
It used to be.
Okay, cool. Rock, I think you get Rock from Brock, because Gen 3 is, Fire Red, Leaf Green still counts.
Oh, does it? Oh, snap.
Yeah, so you can rule out Water as well. You can rule out Psychic. Was there a Dark type TM?
That's the one that I'm thinking of, that I don't recall having a TM for.
I think dark. It's either like Dark or Dragon or Steel. No, we exclude
I don't think
Steel.
it's Dragon. Because Dragon Breath has been around for a while.
Okay.
In TM form.
It might be Dark then. Because
it might be Dark.
What could it be?
No beat up, no crunch, no false swipe is
normal. I don't think Dark Pulse was a move yet in Gen 3.
I don't think so either. Dark Pulse
might be
wasn't
Dark
a move yet. It might be Dark, yep.
I can't think of anything else. Want to go with that?
Yeah, let's go with dark.
Dark is incorrect. The answer is bug.
Oh, no.
Fury Cutter was a TM in Generation 2, but not in Generation 3.
Oh, son of a gun. Sorry about that.
No, that's fine.
So, yeah, but for Dark, you actually do have Thief and Thatch and Torment. These are like staples. They're like always TMs, at least from Generation 3 onward. And also Taunt, I guess, as well. There's 4 Dark type ones. Wow. Crazy.
There you go.
There's also a Dragon one in Dragon Claw. Dragon Claw's pretty consistently there forever now. So that unfortunately is incorrect. So our next question is your Pokedex entry as usual. And this one is going to be from Sari. Its Ultra Moon entry reads, they traverse the deep waters as if crawling over the seafloor. The fantastic lights of its fins shine like stars in the night sky. Who is that Pokemon?
Oh. So something that walks across the ocean floor. It has lights on its fins.
Sounds like Ilu, the one that looks like it's the evolved form of... No, wait. No, I'm confusing Pokemon. Never mind. But isn't there a fish? Finoni?
So Finneon and Luminion do have lights on their fins. But...
They don't crawl?
I don't remember them crawling. I remember all of their Pokédex entries being about the fact that their fins look like butterflies. It's certainly like, because something that could crawl along the... Wait. So, because I was thinking like Inkay and... my brain is completely fried. I was thinking Inkay, but Inkay doesn't have fins. It has tentacles.
Yeah.
But I think Marini... Would you say that Marini has fins? I wouldn't say that Marini has fins.
I wouldn't know. It doesn't either.
So, Finneon and Luminion were in the Ultra Sun and Moon Pokédex, right?
Oh, I was gonna say yes.
Not exactly the first Pokemon you were looking for.
It took a lot of memory power to remember that it existed in the
Exactly. I think I wanna give credit to that effort by using it as our answer. Just, do you wanna go with Finneon or with Luminion?
I think Luminion.
Okay.
There we go, Luminion.
Luminion is correct.
Yes!
It's actually based on, if you look at it, it's like little front fins. It's actually based on a fish that crawls on the floor using its little fins.
Yeah.
Okay.
Fun fact.
It does that because it's feeling, I think,
the
it's feeling sand for food.
Yeah, it's something like that. There's a fish based on it, though. It is a forgettable Pokemon, though. Number 20.
Yeah.
It's one of those Pokemon that I'd be okay with. If they were going to actually make a Dex cut, Luminion's, that would be one of the first things to go, in my mind.
The key word in that Pokédex entry was lights on fin, and then it's the only Pokemon I can think of that has that.
Yeah, there are several sea Pokemon that have lights, but only one has fins. So.
Okay, so our next question, I'll give you the choice of whether or not you want to go for 3 points as answering a question about Pokemon Ranger: The Shadows of Almia.
Oh God!
Or you go for 2 points talking about Pokemon with the ability Levitate.
I've never
Welcome
played
to Final Jeopardy.
I've never played the second Ranger one.
Okay, cool. Yeah. That's what I thought. So you're going to go for 2 points. So, actually, there's 3 answers here. You can go for 3.
There we go.
I'll give you a free hint with this one, though. Most levitators have this have it as their only ability, but there are 3 levitating Pokemon lines that have this hidden ability. I guess it's 2 lines and 1 just Pokemon from a line that gets levitate and will have a hidden ability that's not levitate.
Okay.
Interesting.
One is a Gen 1 Pokemon, one is a Gen 3, the one without with the family that doesn't get levitate is a Gen 3 Pokemon, and the other one's a Gen 4 Pokemon.
So Weezing. Does Weezing have a hidden power, Fluffs?
Hidden ability, you mean?
Yeah. Yeah. I said hidden power.
Honestly, I have no idea. Does the Gengar line
No,
get a hidden ability?
Gengar had only levitate until
Now
it
that it doesn't.
Mega Evolve, and then now.
Okay.
But it always was levitate. The Gengar is one of my favorite Pokemon of all time.
Ooh.
If I fail this question, you are allowed to punch me when you get here.
Yes.
Whenever the next PuclCon is, in 2026.
Okay, so I'm gonna trust you on that. So the one Pokemon that I know gets levitate while its family doesn't in Gen 3 is Flygon,
There we go. Okay.
but it doesn't have a hidden ability. It just gets levitate.
Oh.
And I think the
This is
Brahma
a
might have
first
levitate as
this
well.
This is a first Pokemon in a line.
Oh.
Oh.
Okay.
So it can have levitate, or I feel like I've hunted for this Pokemon before because it brings me flashbacks of me at some point being really, really mad because every single one that I was capturing was not the levitate one, and I can't for the life of me remember what Pokemon was it.
Huh. Well, something that loses levitate upon evolving, it should be, that's very strange. What about,
Can we ask for a hint?
yeah, might as
Yeah,
well.
yeah, you can.
Yeah, let's do that.
So the one from Gen 3 is a ghost type.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
The other one from Gen 4, did you get that? What did you say for Gen 1? Did you come to?
We haven't said anything yet.
Yeah, I
That
suspect
Pokemon,
Weezing, but I don't
that
know.
Pokemon has a form in another region.
Okay, so
I guess
There
that,
you
that
go.
doesn't
Again,
that doesn't help
Weezing.
you much.
exactly.
I mean, Weezing has
Exactly.
has Galarian Weezing.
And then the one from Gen 4 is its other ability that it can possibly have is heat proof.
Okay, so that's Bronzong. Good.
Okay. So Bronson, I still say Weezing because I know that Weezing has levitate, but something tells me that Weezing does have a hidden ability, and I do not know what it is.
I'm okay
and
with
I
that.
could be completely wrong on this, so you're free to think of a different option. But for Gen 1, I think it's Weezing.
No, I'm fine with that answer. So we're gonna say Bronzong, Weezing, and then for Gen 3, ghost types
It says
in
he's
Gen 3
ghost.
that lose levitate upon evolving. Shuppet, maybe? Shuppet goes into Bonnet, and
Dusclops?
Bonnet is on the ground. Oh, Dusclops too.
Dusclops, his little floating at the beginning, and then he becomes heavier.
Yeah, because Dusknoir and Duskull doesn't have legs, but Dusclops and Dusknoir do.
Yeah.
Yes, I think you're right about that one. So let's go with, if you're okay with it, Jushiro, Bronzong, the Weezing
for
family,
sure.
and Duskull.
If you're good with Duskull, because I'm throwing rocks here to see what I hit.
No, I'm perfectly fine with that.
And it's a ghost type, so I'm missing.
Yeah.
Those are all correct. That is 3 points. So you guys are 5 for 4.
Nice, Jushiro.
Nice!
And you get to answer our base stat question, as always. And this one is from Ribby, the trivia master. By that, I mean he puts it together. And Ribby wants to know, which fire-type Pokemon has the highest base special defense of all fire-type Pokemon?
Special defense.
Okay, so...
Fire is not known to be very defensive.
No, definitely. But Ho-Oh comes to mind, of course. And, Volcanion, I don't think, I know it has a decent special defense, I think, but it's not the highest. Definitely.
Okay.
Turtonator is all, physical defense.
Okay.
What are other fire type legendaries that might be very defensive?
Foreigner doesn't count like our Arceus with the plate or something
No.
like that, right? Okay.
Oh man, I'm so rusty on this stuff.
Yeah.
So, no. I was trying to think of fire types in Gen 4. Silly me.
Fire defense, special Flareon has a high special defense. However, I don't know if it's
I don't know that
the
it gets
highest.
to Ho-Oh levels.
Yeah.
It's very high, for sure.
Mhm.
It's a 110, I think. But I think if Ho as a good one, it might go beyond 110. Volcarona is very decent, but it's not that high.
Ho level.
I'm
here.
gonna need an answer.
Okay,
Let's go with Ho.
Yeah.
Ho.
Ho is correct with a base 130 special defense stat.
Nice.
Or maybe not 130. It might be higher. It might be 150. It's one of those two numbers.
Wow.
Yeah, right. It's pretty. It's a bulky boy. I mean, Ho and Lugia are both bulky. That's like their thing. Like, hey, we're bulky. Ho-Oh's base special defense is base 154.
Wow.
That's what it is. Yes. So
Wow.
it's pretty high. But on that note, that gives you guys 6 points for today. So that's not a bad showing. That does change up the leaderboard pretty significantly because every week changes up the leaderboard because everybody's so close. In first place, we have Linian with 25 points, followed up by Whimsicott with 22 points. In third place, we have Sigma with 21 points. In fourth place, we have Seth Vilo with 17. In fifth, Scrawn with 15. In sixth, P. McGee with 14. Followed up by Jushiro in seventh with 13.
Yay.
You literally just need to be on a show and then you're in fourth place. It's fine. And then in eighth place we have Dr. Shamu with 12. In ninth we have Sublime with 9, and in 10th we have Basket with 7. So on that note, that's where everybody is. We'll see who gets to 30 next time on the next installment of PUCL's Poke Quiz. We will kick it on over now to the topic. And welcome to another podcast review that we've gotten from Oki94, the essential podcast for any Pokemon trainer. Thatch and his crew are the best. The knowledge and variety is unmatched in the podcast community. The rotating list of hosts and topics keeps the show fresh. I've been listening for almost a year and a half, and I kickstart every week with PUCL. Keep up the great work, crew. Well, thank you, Oki. We will do just that. And if you want your iTunes or any podcast review on the show, just go ahead and review us on your platform of choice. We appreciate it. But now, on to the topic. And welcome to the topic. Our topic today is world building in Pokemon and things we'd like to see come back. This was a Whimsicott brainchild, and I like it because it's a nice, easier topic for these trying times. And I just want to get back to, this is like PUCL roots. He's just talking about lore, and I really like that. So I'll let Whimsicott start because I want to get a good feeling on what she wants to talk about and how she wants to go about it. So I'll let you start.
Yeah, so this was inspired in part by apricorns coming back, because I thought apricorns were one of the best elements of world building we ever had in the Pokemon world. Like, we've had Pokemon for a long time, and Pokeballs are high tech. There's no way we had Pokeballs like 200 years ago, so how did we deal with Pokemon before then?
You haven't watched the anime.
No, I have not watched the anime. And so I thought, oh, this apricorn idea is so cool. Like, there was something in nature that we substituted with technology, but we had something before. And now they're coming back. And I think, there's those little details that you put in a story, in a video game, that make it feel real and stuff like that. The Pokeball factory in Generation 6. You think about it, and after you see the Pokeball factory, it's obvious that there must be a Pokeball factory in every region.
Yeah.
Why have we never seen one before?
Or a power plant.
Exactly. We've seen a lot of power plants, to be fair.
Yeah. I miss that kind of stuff, though, because that's the kind of stuff that wasn't really present in Swish.
Yeah.
That really wasn't present at all. If I'm thinking about things that were really cool in sense of world building, which is just honestly just having locations that are off the beaten trail, which I think is a really big thing. Granted, I don't think Sun and Moon really had that either, except for a couple of beaches here and there. But the things off the beaten trail, like things that I can think of right off the top of my head, is the Fuego Ironworks in Sinnoh that weren't required for you to go to whatsoever throughout the entire game.
Right.
That would be really cool to see something like that again. Or
the shrine in the forest where Cerebi would show up once you unlock that event. It's just you walk past that and you couldn't do anything with it for as long as time until the event was active, and it just brings a little bit more of, I want to say context, but it's more than just context into that world.
I think even...
I like that specifically, Jushiro,
Mm-hmm.
because I think it's really cool to have something there that they were at least thinking about using later, even if they didn't. Because one, it's like Whimsicott says, it just kind of fleshes out the world. Like having that shrine in the Alex Forest, like, yeah, that's really cool because as a kid in Generation 2, we never got the Celebi event in the US.
Nope.
And
it was only in Japan.
We never got to use it. And so I think it's really cool, like, at least knowing, like, as a Pokemon fan at the time when I was, I don't know, like 10, 11. I was just like, oh yeah, this is really cool. I'm going to be able to go ahead and catch, this is really cool. I know this is for Celebi, but Celebi's not here yet. And then just waiting and then being disappointed. But I think it's really cool in just terms of world building. And like I've always said, like, what's my mantra with Pokemon is, like, Pokemon's all about the headcanon. And having things like that just, like, helps flesh out your own headcanon for Pokemon. I mean, something like that's not present. Like, if they had something like for Zarude in the game, like something that was hinting at it, but we didn't know it was Zarude, that would make Zarude not as terrible to me. Like, because I'd be like, hey, look, they at least referenced it before we found out about it.
Yeah.
And
it's not something completely out of the blue and random.
Yeah, all we get nowadays, I feel like, is it's very boring. There'll be some reference to, like, oh, this Pokemon helped do this, and then it's like something you can catch on, like, the next route or two.
Yeah. Exactly.
It's just like, that's not very exciting. I'd much rather have you hint at me that Volcanion exists or something like that. Like,
and there are some NPCs who actually have done that in the past in other regions where you talk to them and they talk to you about these mythical or legendary Pokemon which you can't catch in the game.
Up until Gen 6, this was pretty standard.
Yeah.
Up to Gen 6, it was very, very standard, and it's not the standard whatsoever right now. Which, I mean, I don't want to turn this into, like, a gripe session, but it is one of those things, like, we can talk about world building things that we want back, and I think we'll find that a lot of them that we want back just aren't present in Swish, and that there aren't very many left in Swish. I would say that they did do two good things for world building. I will say that. For world building, I think they did really well with just the way they displayed Pokemon gym battles.
Yes.
I think that was done very well.
Yes.
And I also thought the gym leaders were put into the story more so than previous installments. Maybe not to Gen 5 levels. But
that's unreachable.
Yes. Gen 5 is like this pinnacle. Like I said,
it's storytelling,
It's like...
Pokemon storytelling.
Yeah, it is a pinnacle of Pokemon storytelling, and... it's the problem is it put a bad taste in a lot of people's mouth because of a Dexit-like scenario, and that's always been the bad news bears. I don't know if Game Freak doesn't realize that's the bad news bears, and they think it's the storytelling that's the problem, and not the Dexit-like situation. But it's definitely I would love to sit down with Masuda and, like, off the record talk to him. And just, like, pick his brain and be like, so why'd you make this choice? Why'd you make that choice? Like, just because I don't know if they genuinely understand or not. Like, that's seeing a lot of the moves they made, especially since post Gen 5. I've been very confused.
Yeah.
With a lot of the moves they've made, and it just feels like there's a disconnect there. But maybe it's just because they have some logistical challenges that they can't overcome. I mean, I'd love to hear about it.
Yeah. There's another thing that I think has been done better in previous generations, and is the temporal integration of the world. By that, I mean, you look at Gen 2, and there is a husk of a building. That's the Burn Tower.
Oh,
and you know, when you're, building a world, sometimes you don't think about the fact that that world has been there for a long time, and it's going to be there for a long time if you, an 11-year-old, save it. But whatever.
I don't know. If you're making any D&D world, you should think about that, right?
Exactly. But not everyone does, and not every Pokemon game does it as well as some other Pokemon game do. Like, you go to Aquatic City, you see the Burn Tower standing next to the... what's the Tin Tower?
The Tin Tower, yeah.
Yes?
Okay.
Okay.
It's either the tin or the brass. It's one of the two. One of them used to be the tin or the brass.
Exactly. It gives you a sense of, oh, okay, this is a place that's been lived in. And it ties beautifully into the story of the legendaries. And then Gen 5 took another approach on that I thought was really cool. Like right next to the desert, where you find some ruins, there's a construction going on. For something new. It's the past meets the future meets the present, all in one location around Route 4. That was beautiful. Yeah, that really immersed you into the world. And I don't think that Generation 7 and 8 did such a good job of that, like integrating the history and the future of the world with what you see on the map. There were a couple of places that did that, but it didn't feel as organic as some other generations. I actually, in my opinion,
I agree with that. Maybe that's something to do with this, like the tone of the games as well, because like you can definitely feel like a tonal shift in the story and just the way the games are played in Gen 7 and Gen 8. Outside of the fact that it's just 4 islands in both games, but you can definitely feel like a tonal shift, and maybe that's it. Maybe it's mostly that, hey, we're focusing on the now instead of like the past.
And it's weird because they definitely have stuff from, like, there's ruins in every game.
And Gen 6 had this whole plot with the world, and what happened 3,000 years.
Gen 6 had a good past. Like connection.
Yeah, it has a lot of lore. The present story, what's going on in the game wasn't good. But the lore that it brought, like, oh, this is what happened. This is the extension, the ramifications of what happened 3,000 years ago. That gave a lot of life to that region.
It feels like
I would argue
a really bad way to put it is it's like the DM wrote a lot of notes, but he didn't put it through when he played the game.
Yes, exactly. But I would argue that if you think about it, Gen 8 has almost as much as a backstory, but you never feel it.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I think part of that is still the way that they portrayed most of it, because a lot of this stuff that's quote unquote discovered isn't even discovered by the player. Exactly. It's discovered by Sonia. And like most of the real big feats that are a problem are encountered by Leon. And like that's I don't want this to turn into a gripe session, but like I think that's where that game really started falling apart, is they didn't let the player do things. They let the player play through the eyes of the NPC and focus on their gym challenge, which is the thing that they did well. Like they leaned really hard into the thing they did well. But they definitely faltered. Like it came at a price. Like there are so many things that like Leon does that I thought would be really cool moments for the player. Like, you know when Leon, like, runs off and defeats, like, the random Dynamax Berserker?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know how cool it would have been for that to be, like, a little inset into the plot? And, like, you and Leon take it on together?
Yeah.
Right? And you needed each other to be able to do it? Like, that would have been far and away better than what just, like, finding out that Leon did it. Like, yeah, it's cool, we get he's the champ, but, like, you worked with the champion to do that, right? It's not like there's never been precedent in a Pokemon game where you've interacted with the champion on a level where you worked together prior to playing him.
Hello, Lance.
Yeah, and so it's not like anything like that hasn't happened before. And
exactly,
it'd be really cool to have seen that play out again. I don't know. It would.
I'll do you one better. And I'll make you mad while I'm at it.
Oh, 2 for 1.
You already did, but it's okay.
Imagine that the statue of the old heroes and the tapestry that are shown to you, one incidentally by Bede and one intentionally by Sonia, were at the end of an abandoned castle that's its own dungeon that you have to explore.
Okay. So I don't know that I'm mad, because like I'm trying to be positive, right? And because like I have a lot of problems with Sword and Shield. I do not think they are. I don't think they're well made. And my biggest problem with Sword and Shield is there are 0 dungeons, absolutely 0. And even in Sun and Moon, we still got dungeons. Like, they weren't great dungeons, but they were still there. And
Yeah.
And then Gen 6, you obviously had dungeons.
When you say dungeons, are you saying caves?
Something like that.
So I would
or
describe...
the Team Rocket hideout.
Yeah, Team Rocket hideout, Silphco. I would describe those as dungeons. Things where you have to at least... It's a maze. Essentially a maze that you have to go through, and there's people you have to battle.
Okay.
I mean, that's a very generic way of putting it, but that's how I would describe a dungeon in Pokemon. And I don't think... There were 0 of them in Sword and Shield. 0. It was one of the if you read a lot of the reviews, that was probably, except for like the ones that were like uncharacteristically positive. I would say, like, if there was one that like gave praise but also gave criticism, I think those are fair reviews. And what they all complained about was that it was very linear. There was no off the beaten path options.
Exactly.
It goes back to the Fuego Ironworks. Like, I would love to see something like that. Like, I don't even need it to be a dungeon. Like, make it just like a building I can go to that, hey, I might have missed this when I was walking on this route before.
Right.
And I think that would be cool. I mean, if you even want something that's like a step below a dungeon and something that would be really cool, I'd even take you back to like secret bases, like being able to find a location for your secret base. Like, you can hop off the beaten path and like go find a place. And I think that would be really cool. Well.
And not only that, I mean, if we're still going through the calendar thing, why not add the holidays, special Pokemon holidays that you have like Animal Crossing? Well, not like Animal Crossing.
Okay,
of course.
so I'm not against that whatsoever. Like, I think what you're probably referring to is more like something like the bug catching contest.
Yes, like kind of like in Gen 2, where it's certain days something happened, and it's like it felt like a lie.
Why is that not a thing? Why do we take away a good thing? Because we don't need hopes and dreams.
Like, we're recording this on Saturday, April 11th, and today is the Animal Crossing fishing contest.
Yeah,
and I'm super excited to get off this.
Yeah, and go
this
play
podcast, and then go play the. I want that in Pokemon, right? Give me a day where you can go fish hunting or bug catching. Give me a day where it's like, oh, it's bug catching contest. Go catch a certain amount of bugs, and whoever has the amount of bugs wins. Whatever, just things that will constantly give us something to do, and it makes the world feel alive. One wish thing I've always loved in every single game I played is the Haunted Mansion part, the ghost part of it. In every RPG, in almost every RPG, you know, you got your Final Fantasy 11, you got the mansion where you find Vincent. You know, in Digimon World, the first one, you have the mansion when you found.
Played.
Well, Pokemon has a lot of mansions or buildings that are like that. The one I would like to see, and it's hard because you would have to tie it with a region, is a ghost town. A town
that would be so cool,
where it has been worldbuilding, something happened and it had to be abandoned, kind of like Chernobyl or something. And then you have to go there, and all you find is dark and ghost Pokemon.
I feel like that's a little too real for a Pokemon game.
Well, not the radioactive issues, but for example, maybe a volcano was next to it, and to help save the people, they remove all the people.
I still think that's a little too real for a Pokemon game. I think any implication of death outside of like
X and Y had like they kill like 2,000 Pokemon.
I think killing Pokemon versus killing people are two different things in the Pokemon lore, and I think.
But I mean, you can make the story that it was abandoned. And some Pokemon, like the Swords of Justice in Gen 5 saved all the Pokemon in the forest from a fire.
There we go.
Right.
We fixed
it. Some mythical Pokemon saved all the people in that town from a terrible catastrophe, and now it's a ghost town, and there you have it, a hook for a mythical Pokemon. And you can explore the place that was left behind. It doesn't have to be said. Like, there's a place here in Italy that was a town essentially built to house all the people that worked in a certain place. And then that place wasn't workable anymore, and it's a ghost town, but it's not that anybody died there. It's just a photograph of a certain time in our history. And I've been there, and it's slightly creepy because there is no one there, and it's like time stopped like 50 years ago, but nobody died there. It's not a sad place.
Right.
That's what we need. I'm okay with that. Yeah, so also Game Freak, the email's puclpodcast@gmail.com. we're ready for you to accept our ideas. We'll sit down with you. And, we'll sign an NDA. I'm okay with that. Go ahead, Jushiro.
Oh, no, that would say that the only thing about adding dead people to it's the ghost, because one of the best Easter eggs that I found in Pokemon was the ghost girl that appeared out of nowhere, and there's no reason for her. She just appears in a room and then disappears, and it's like, what's going on with this ghost girl? I love that.
It's been 7 years and we still don't know, and it's okay.
Exactly. But I can imagine a ghost town where you enter each building, and each building has its own, like, things with ghosts that are happening. And they're not related to Pokemon. It's just like that little girl in those, in that other Pokemon games where it just appeared in nothing. Just stuff like that, because it adds like more history to it.
They did that really well in the chateau.
And also the abandoned supermarket in Alola.
Yes.
Yeah.
In Alola. Yep.
Yeah, they did something like that. Would be cool. Yeah. I'm into both of those as an idea, and just like fleshing that out. Man, that was cooler than what we got in Sword and Shield. God. Yeah. Why does that makes me so sad?
Well, we still have 2 DLCs coming, so there's still hope.
Yeah, but I shouldn't have to wait for DLC for what I would describe as like a core Pokemon experience, which is just the dungeon. Like we can talk all we want about Dexit and like disagree about how Dexit was a good or bad thing. It was. Well, I don't think
my answer is. I never thought that it was like it wasn't planned this way. It was like, we have an issue. We won't be able to get all Pokemons in there by the time they want us to release this Pokemon. So what's our plan B? And plan B is like, well, let's release them later. I don't think it was something
as
like,
long as we get everything back in the form of DLC. Yeah. Well, not even because the Pokemon themselves aren't DLC; they're a free update. But the ability to catch them in Sword and Shield is as DLC. I think this could be probably like in terms of a game where you can, like, we're talking about world building, where you can actually like justify all of the Pokemon being catchable within one series of games. And we're talking like 900 monsters at this point. Like the ability to catch 900 Pokemon in like a single series of games, that would be astounding to me. And like justify it and have reasons for it. Like, that's amazing to me. If they play their cards right, they can do that. There's just like a little part of me that thinks, man, wouldn't it be cool what if they just decided, hey, we're putting out a new game after this, and they just throw the other 250 we're missing in the garbage?
Yeah. Well, let's see. I mean, again, we still have those 2 DLCs.
Yeah,
so.
I think that the attach rates for the DLC are like crazy stupid. As well. I think the last report I saw was like 90% of people who own Switch plan on buying the DLC.
Wow. That is amazing. That's great.
That's like an unheard of number of people.
Nothing has that high of attach rate.
Honestly,
except Wii Sports when it came with the Wii.
You might as well just come out with another deal. Like, I'm thinking from a business perspective, right?
Yeah, why not?
From a business, if I'm Game Freak and I go, cool, we made what I think is a bare bone skeleton Pokemon game for $60, right? And then we sold a $30 DLC package year 1, and then another $30 DLC package year 2 after release. I go, okay, so that's $120 for one version. $240 for 2 versions, which most people would buy. Well, not most people, but stupid people like us. And so people would buy that. And then they go, from there they go, okay, so we're going to buy the DLC, and we're going to make $120. If we were to do the Sun and Moon strategy like we did before, right, where we sold Sun and Moon for $40, and then we sold Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, which is a slightly updated, essentially DLC game, for $40, and we made $80 for one generation. You can make $120, so you can increase your profit margin by 50%.
And you don't have to pay anything when it comes to producing cartridges and shipping them, because the DLC is only digital.
Yeah, exactly.
And you can always take the the cartridges that haven't sold and repackage them with the old DLC, saying like, this is the year 2 Pokemon, includes the 2 DLC, and there's a new DLC coming.
So what you do is you take the cartridges, and at the end of the cycle of the first DLC or second DLC package, after everybody's paid $120 for the DLC package, you put out the game and you call it the definitive edition of Pokemon Sword or Pokemon Shield.
And also, there's no one who's gonna buy the DLC who hasn't bought the game, of course. But once Ultra Sun and Moon came out, it kind of superseded
exactly.
Sun and Moon. So it lost sales of the previous game.
I think it makes more sense for them, especially PR-wise, to put all of the Pokemon back into this game, because then you can legitimately say, hey, go catch them all. Right?
Yeah.
Something what we haven't been able to do since Gen 6, but that was over a series of 4 games, and this one's like, hey, you could do it over a series of 2 games. And you can have, this has nothing to do with world building, but it would be very cool to just be able to say that and see it, and because I said it, it's not going to happen. Because this is like the most logical path forward, in my opinion, is to just go ahead and do that. They obviously can. And like I've always said, like throughout the entire process, like through this entire thing, I'm more than willing to pay for the Pokemon, like to get them in. Like I had no problem like getting the free update that they're giving for the Pokemon, and going ahead and paying money for that. Like if that's all the DLC was, I would pay for that without even thinking about it. Like I would pay that. I am also what may be classified as a quote unquote super fan, but so I might be biased. But I would always do that. But I don't know. This took a really dark turn. Because we're trying to talk about like, these would be really cool things to have back. And maybe they will. Like, Isle of Armor might bring some of that back, because we do get some lore with like Kubfu and stuff like that. So maybe we do get some kind of cool lore to go along with that. We'll see. I'm interested. Hopefully we get Ireland as a location at least.
That would be amazing.
Well, that's going to be DLC year 2.
Politically, that's an issue. But we'll see. We'll see. I know we definitely should. I think that's something that we should get, like, because we only got the Isle of Man and the Crown Tundra of Scotland, right?
Yeah.
So there's plenty more for us to get. Plenty more. So on that note, though, this is a good place to switch gears. We're going to take a short break, and we'll be right back at you guys with the Pokemon of the episode. We'll catch you on the flip-flop.
Hey guys, Seth Philo cutting in to tell you about something awesome that I've been absolutely loving. Vite Ramen. If you guys know me, you know I have a borderline noodle addiction, and part of that love has always been a guilty pleasure for ramen. Well, Vite Ramen is ramen, but get this, it's actually good for you. You heard me right. The guys at Vite Ramen have spent years making ramen that's nutritionally complete, and I absolutely adore it. Each bowl has 30 grams of protein, which is more than your average protein shake, 7 grams of fiber, all 27 key vitamins and minerals that you need, and most importantly, tons of awesome flavor. Oh yeah, and did I mention it still only takes 4 minutes to prepare? It's basically still instant ramen. You can head over to viteramen.com and pick up soy sauce chicken, garlic pork, and my favorite, vegan miso flavors, as well as handy utensils and other such stuff. And here is the coolest part. At checkout, enter code PUCL, and you'll get 10% off your entire order. That's PUCL, all caps, for a whopping 10% off. Anyway, I gotta get back to rating, and you've got a show to finish. Catch you guys on the flip-flop.
Episode.
And welcome to the Pokemon of the episode. Our Pokemon of the episode this week is National Dex number 468, Togekiss, the Jubilee Pokemon.
Its Pokemon Platinum Pokédex entry says, it shares many blessings with people who respect one another's rights and avoid needless strife.
And because we are talking about VGC in the community right now, because we're hosting our VGC tournament, the PFTT, we have another VGC team today. This team was created by MBC on Twitter. They were the second runner-up, or the first runner-up. That's how those words work. For the recent tournament that A-Drive and Wolf Glick put on that had like outstanding attendance. It was just like nutsos. So I wanted to go over this team because they did make it public, and I wanted to just go over it and just talk to people. I do not know the EV spreads and what they're calced for. I'm just going to throw that out there real quick.
Well, some of them are incredibly specific. So
yeah, some of these are incredibly specific. If you would like these details, instead of taking out your notebook and writing them all down, you can grab them on the Discord server after you grab this show. So this team starts off with Togekiss because it's an egg. And it's Easter, I guess. A week of Easter. It's actually, what do the Polish call it? I think it's Dingus Day.
Dingus Day.
What?
It's Dingus Day. The day this show comes out. So the day after Easter in Poland is called Dingus Day.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this isn't a very progressive holiday. What it was based on is that's the day that little boys go grab switches off of trees and like hit the girl they like with a switch. And yeah. Dingus Day, Polish holiday.
I'm just keeping myself from making a joke about Nintendo Switches growing on trees in Poland, but whatever. So in Italy, the day after Easter is called what loosely translates as Little Cute Easter. That's a more positive note.
That is not what Dingus Day is. that is not Dingus Day. Or maybe it's the opposite way. Maybe it's the girls grab the switches and hit the boys.
No, we just all have a barbecue when it doesn't rain. It's been raining on the day after Easter for like as long as I've been alive. And guess which year the weather picked to be clement.
Yep. Dingus Day, most recently, they actually use water instead of switches to pick the girl that they like. So they splash water on them.
Still very stupid.
Or they'll squirt them with water guns.
Stupid.
Okay, but nonetheless, Togekiss is a Pokemon on this team with a bold nature. Super luck because you're not really going for the crits with Serene Grace on this Pokemon. It's got the EV spread. Get ready for this, guys. Take your notes. 228 HP, 196 defense, 12 special attack, 12 special defense, 60 speed, bold nature, 0 attack. Yawn, Dazzling Gleam, Follow Me, Safeguard, holding a Babiri Berry. What does a Babiri Berry do, you may ask? And Thatch does not have the answer for you right off the top.
I do.
Go ahead.
It halves the damage of a super effective steel type attack.
That's right. We talked about this. And so, yeah, you can take a super effective steel type attack with this Togekiss. This is also more of a support Togekiss than the one we talked about last week. So this Togekiss, the whole point is redirection, protecting you from sleep, or any status conditions for that matter, and also using Yawn to force out switches and maybe just cancel out an opponent's Dynamax. Which is really, it's nice tech. It's a nice tech, and then you have Dazzling Gleam so that the Togekiss isn't completely helpless. Mm-hmm. So that's good. We also have a Rotom Wash on this team because what is VGC without Rotom Wash? It's not a game. It's not a meta. Citrus Berry, Levitate, obviously, with 252 HP, 76 special attack, and 180 speed. Calm Nature, Hydro Pump, Thunderbolt, Nasty Plot, Protect. This is just Rotom Wash. It's an offensive Rotom Wash. Mm-hmm. With Nasty Plot so that you can do some real damage, especially if you go big with it and you Dynamax and the Rotom Wash. You can let off some pretty big geysers and what is it, lightnings. Wow, those move names are just very uninventive. I like the Z move names are way better.
They were so much cooler.
Yeah. All right, moving on. Jushiro, tell us more.
Well, we have Ghost and we have Fairy, but we're going to tone it down now to the dark side and bring it down with Incineroar. Now, Incineroar, with its trusty Intimidate as the ability chosen for him, is a good attacker that is going to wreak havoc to your opponent. It has the EV spread, 244 in HP, 60 for an attack, 84 for defense, 108 in speed.
Special defense.
Sorry, special defense, and then 12 in speed. With its careful nature, which won't allow the Figgy Berry to confuse him. And its attacks are Fire Blitz, Darkest Lariat, Parting Shot, and Fake Out.
The whole point of this is to make it so that you have no attack stats.
Yes.
That's what this is for, because you Intimidate and you Parting Shot. This was like the scariest thing I heard when Incineroar was coming back to the game, and I heard that it was going to be allowed in VGC. I'm like, did you know Incineroar got Parting Shot this generation? Because I did it until the day after it came out, and I was like, they're letting it in? Who would have thought they would let it in? Thankfully, I looked at the most recent usage stats. I don't know how accurate they are anymore, but the usage stats show that Incineroar is no longer at a crazy high like 80-90% in VGC. It is down to like 36%, and Togekiss is actually the most used Pokemon in VGC 2020 right now.
But that's in the sky. We also have down in the ground, and that Excadrill's the next one on the list, with weakness policy to make sure it doesn't get KO'd that easily.
No, it does get KO'd. You're thinking of the TCG weakness policy.
Oh, that must be it.
You're thinking the TCG weakness policy and the in-game one are two completely different things.
Oh, what does the in-game? I have never used it.
So the in-game weakness policy is actually really good, and it's something that's seeing a lot of use, especially this time around because of Dynamax. and people will like hit hard and big. But what happens is, so if Excadrill gets hit by a super effective attack, it procs. And what happens is Excadrill gets like +2 attack, +2 special attack, and I think some speed as well.
Okay.
No, it doesn't get any speed.
No speed. You still need those oh my gosh, what are they called? The Dynamax move, that's too good, just like the Z move. The Supersonic Sky Strike of Dynamax moves. That's what
No.
I don't know what it's called. Oh, Max Airstream. That's what it is.
Max Airstream, okay. So, speaking of speed, it has a 252 speed stat there that you want to add to it, with the 16 HP, 28 in attack, 164 in defense, and 4 in special defense. It's jolly nature to make sure it outspeeds its speed steers, needed speed steers, and its 4 attacks, Earthquake, Iron Head, Sword Dance, and Protect.
I don't know why. I'm not a fan of this Excadrill, but that's just me. I also have to play with this team to really understand it, and I have yet to do that because I've been playing with a bunch of other teams. There's a bunch of teams from that tournament that are up and available, by the way. So if you're interested, you can go look at those. But this one I just thought was cool, not because of any of the Pokemon we've listed before, but these last two. And I'll let Whimsicott go into that.
Yes. So the next Pokemon is Dragapult, and it's something I'm a huge fan of, a physical Dragapult. It's holding Life Orb. It has max speed, max attack, 4 HP, Jolly Nature, because you don't want to drop any of that amazing speed. Like, I legit looked at the speed tiers when I was reading my Dragapult, and I was like, so... Yes, it's really, really fast, but the difference between an Adamant and a Jolly Nature is outspeeding a +1 Excadrill. Yes. Jolly every single time.
The speed tiers are nuts, especially with, even in OU, Zeraora is only good because it's 1 base speed higher than Dragapult.
Yeah, exactly. So it's got Dragon Dart, which is the reason I am a huge fan of a physical Dragapult. It's such a cool move. It's got Phantom Force, which is a bit harder to make work, but it allows for some amazing shenanigans.
It's so good. It's so good. I love Phantom Force, especially in VGC.
Yes, it's amazing. You disappear for 1 turn, play around with the speed tiers like you used to do with Skydrop last generation. It's amazing.
It's even a little bit more than that too, because Phantom Force 1 will always hit the target that you chose. So something that's very popular, one of the more popular Pokemon of VGC at the moment is Ally Switch with Duskull, or Dusclops, I should say. And so people will switch to try not to get hit, but you're going to hit with Phantom Force anyway. It doesn't matter. Also, you're burning Dynamax turns if you Phantom
You're burning Dynamax turns, and if you're good enough at playing with... Like, this team has no speed control, but if you're using speed control on your team, you can manipulate it so that essentially you get to hit twice without ever being hit on those 2 turns, because now the modifiers to speed take effect in the same turn. So things like Tailwind, it doesn't apply from the next turn as it used to the generation before. It applies to that same turn. So if you have, say, a Prankster Whimsicott, like, it's amazing. I love VGC this year. It's got Fly. Again, you need it for the max airstream, but you can also play around with turns if you are not Dynamax with your Dragapult using Fly. And it's got Protect because it's VGC. And then a really crazy treat is an offensive Venusaur. It has Chlorophyll, of course.
I love this thing. I love it. It's better than Overgrow.
You can have your opponent set Sun. You can set Sun yourself if you, Dynamax your Incineroar or whatever.
Yeah.
It's got max special attack, max speed, 4 HP, Timid Nature, and it's got Leaf Storm, Sludge Bomb, Protect, and Sleep Powder, which is the reason it's holding a wide lens.
It's fantastic.
I love this.
It's the most frustrating thing to play against. Like, no joke. I've played against it a couple of times, like a wide lens Venusaur, and just being put to sleep constantly is so frustrating. And that's because Spore's gone this year, essentially, because the only Spore user that's available right now is Shiinotic. And let's be honest, it's Shiinotic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't heard anything from that Pokemon since it's been revealed.
Exactly. And so like, this is kind of the equivalent of like having a Spore user. This is like Amoonguss right now. Amoonguss is Venusaur, and Venusaur is just hitting like a truck at the same time. Because you could go big with it, and max poison as well, and get like special attack boosts.
Exactly.
You're just nutso's good.
It's amazing. I love it. Love it.
Also, Venusaur, by the way, gets Earth Power now.
Yes.
So that's a big...
It doesn't need to run Earthquake anymore.
Yeah, it gets Earth Power now. That's huge. Good for you, Venusaur. But yeah, on that note, that is it for the Pokemon of the episode. If you want this team, like I said, it's in the Discord show notes. Or not in the show notes on the Discord, but in the Pokemon of the episode channel on the Discord. You can go grab this team, try it out for yourself, see if you like Wide Lens Venusaur. We are going to go ahead then and kick it on over to the mailbag.
It's mail time! Send in your emails! Mail!
And welcome to the Mailbag. The Mailbag is the segment of the show where we read your listener emails. You can send them into puclpodcast@gmail.com. You can tell us about anything you're thinking about. What brand of peanut butter you like, how that relates to, I don't know, Bidoof. And you could send us those emails. But as always, this segment of the show is brought to you by the fictional energy drink Green Tauros, the energy drink that gives you hooves.
Hooves!
Too many people ask us. Used to get asked a lot to make that a real energy drink.
That's not exactly something you can just wake up and do one day. Like, you can make a table if you wake up one day and want to make a table, but you can't exactly Etsy your way through doing an energy drink.
I'm sure the FDA will have a blast with that.
Energy drink. It gives you hooves. That sounds unsafe.
Yeah. I mean, it would be very on brand for Green Tauros.
Yes, that's very true. We got both from store shelves almost immediately.
We just triggered another pandemic.
Oh, God. All right. So on that note, we asked you guys last week what you thought about Play Pokemon being canceled in 2020. And I know Jushiro has some hot takes on this. By hot takes, I mean just ideas.
Yeah.
And we only got one email this week, and it was from Big Cat Bruce. So as long as it's grammatically correct and on topic, I think he won the Green Tauros badge.
It even has paragraph breaks.
Yeah, I know.
Oh,
Paragraph breaks are my favorite thing that we don't see. That they're typically rare.
Yep.
So, Whimsicott, go ahead. Read this one from Big Cat.
I will, but before I do that, I just want to share with you all that I had a flashback to that one scene in the Incredible Hulk movie where he drops a drop of his blood into the drink, you know? And, I mean, it got green. It wasn't a Tauros, but whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway, Big Cat Bruce says, hello to my absolute favorite group of Pokemon podcasters.
Yay.
I hope he means specifically us three. That's what I'm hoping.
Right?
Yeah, I mean, it's not like... I don't think he listens to like 700 Pokemon podcasts, so whatever. It's like saying, you're my favorite kid. Mom, I'm an only child. Sorry, we're getting a bit silly here. This is Big Cat Bruce with some thoughts on the cancellation of Play Pokemon 2020. I came into this year with the hope that the new generation would be my first time competing in a regional tournament. I live near Philadelphia, so I felt confident that I'd be able to travel on the East Coast to compete. But then, the regional schedule was released, and the tournaments close to me took place before Sword and Shield was the format. Then, I bought a house, I'm getting married this August. Congrats for both!
Congrats, yeah!
And I'm also in grad school. Basically, my life got busier and busier. Oh, I feel you, man. I know that many people set their travel plans for this year and are really bummed, but this actually really works out for me. I'm excited for the 2021 season to start because my life will be much slower and I may be able to compete. It is sad to see for many people who put in so much time and effort for this season, but I hope that with more online tournaments and creativity from the community, this will be a positive flashpoint of innovation that the game needed. Exactly. I hope you all stay safe and thank you for still putting out great content, Big Cat Bruce. That was just what we needed. A ray of sunshine. Thank you, Big Cat Bruce.
Yes, we did.
Yep. Yep. And what he said mirrors what I thought and my thoughts on the TCG cast about the whole cancel thing. It is time for Pokemon to move this online.
Right?
It's online has always been a secondary thing for Pokemon. Let it be because of Nintendo's constant hesitation to dive in headfirst into the online gameplay world, or let it that be because cheating, they can't control that as much when it's through online. I don't know. But the fact that the only way that points count for the official championships are through real people moving from place to place itself, to me, invites less people to play than it is just open it online. Just having it online.
Jushiro, I'm going to blow your mind right now. Do you know how they determine who goes to Worlds from Japan?
How?
They do an online tournament for VGC.
Son of a
no
gun.
joke. This is how they've done it. This is how they've done it for years in Japan.
Why? Why can't we do that like that here?
Because the Nintendo servers can't handle it.
I don't think Nintendo servers can. I think the number of people playing Pokemon in Japan versus the number of people playing Pokemon in like the US and the rest of the world is significantly higher.
I don't think that's possible. Like Japan versus the rest of the entire world, it doesn't have that many people. That
no. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying the rest of the world.
Yeah, he said the other way around.
That's what I meant. We're both on the same page.
Yeah, okay.
We're both on the same page. If I didn't say it that way, that's what I meant.
Okay.
That might be part of it, but yeah, they should totally move VGC online.
Yeah, TCG, same thing.
Yeah, TCG I don't agree with from a business standpoint. Mm-hmm. Because from a business standpoint, if we were to move it online, you don't get to sell the cards online. Granted.
But that's the thing. That's the change that I was talking about on the TCG cat.
Yeah, PTCGO is awful.
Exactly. They should move. Not move online with the things that we have now. No. They need to invest into a better online experience for both VGC and TCG.
I mean, it runs on Unity. I don't know why.
Yeah, they should scrap PTCGO. They should draw up a new system, much like Magic Arena, where you can buy boosters and buy cards with real money.
You should be able to buy boosters with real money.
Yes, and have a permanent system in place where you can just play there. And it just boggles my mind how they have not done that. And I know maybe Nintendo has always has like a bigger goal in mind, such as when it came up with all this fitness games. It was just we want our players' space to be healthy and so forth. Maybe this whole thing is for social interaction, but the times of social interactions right now are changing, and we're not. After this is done, people are not going to react the same. People are going to avoid large things.
I do agree with that. What I think needs to happen, just like overall, is it needs to be a heavier mixture of the two. Like we have virtually like no online play right now. I mean, VGC, you can probably get maybe 100 to 200 points a year playing online right now.
Yeah.
That's it. And you have to do like really well to get those points. And that's like halfway to a Worlds invite if you do really, really, really well on all of the online tournaments.
Yeah.
And so, yeah. So I think they need to change that. I think there is some value to real life events.
Oh no, I don't see. Yeah, I don't say scrap them completely.
TCG, as long as you're buying the packs online, I think that's perfectly fine. Because from a business standpoint, you're not getting people to buy the cards if you don't if you don't have IRL events.
You know what they should do? They should print a little code at the bottom of the card that is either a QR or a code that you input, depending on what device you're using, the new overhauled client for PTCGO. That if you have the card in real life, you scan it and it gives you the card in the game. So people are still going outside, buying the physical packs, getting the high of opening up a booster box and having the physical beautiful card in their hands. Mm-hmm. But they can also say, oh, I finally got this card that I really wanted and that is really good. I can scan it, have it in my online game, and use it in my online game.
So I'm going to counterpoint that because it depends on the code, and I don't know if it's possible to make a code for each individual card itself. Because if you make it standardized to its type of card, this actually already happened, by the way. Not with Pokemon, but with Yu-Gi-Oh! Yu-Gi-Oh! If you look at some of the original Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards that came out, there was actually a little code on the bottom of each of them. It was just like a string of like 12 or 16 numbers. And you could type that number in, to a Yu-Gi-Oh video game. There was no Yu-Gi-Oh online video game at that point, really. And you can get whatever cards you wanted, or whatever cards you had physically in the game, which was a neat concept until you realized that it was the same for each card, for the same type. So then you could just go online, look up a list of cards, and go, I need this one. And you just type it in. And so what I could see happening is, oh, hey, there's a QR code. I'll just grab that QR code and I get whatever card I need.
I wasn't thinking about the fact that people would put the codes out there. That's very silly and naive of me.
Yeah, that's going to happen. I mean,
there are codes for boosters, right? The boosters do have codes
so the
in
booster
them.
pack does. The booster pack does, but I don't know if you could make it. So what the difference with that is, you'd have to print that for each individual card.
Correct.
Exactly.
Which is again, it's what this is why this whole thing is triggering what I expect or hope that Pokemon in general and Nintendo does is take this opportunity to invest into new ways of how to play Pokemon.
They should totally do it online. I think going to a Magic type client would be ideal. And honestly, we'd probably already have that client if Wizards still own Pokemon. Well, no, Wizards tried to kill Pokemon, but
Wizards tried to kill Pokemon. That's why Pokemon does Pokemon now.
Yes, Wizards tried to kill Pokemon back in the day.
Yeah.
And so that I do agree with that, though. We should have a client like Wizards, though, and I don't know why we don't, because this client has existed since 2011 with virtually zero update.
And they actively tell you, don't invest money in Pokemon online, Pokemon trading card game online. It's clear. We all been spending tons of money, and one day they might shut that thing out, and there's just nothing we can do about it. So they really just need to make it official. Just make it official. Just give me a client where I can buy cards and then have a sturdy and trustworthy server where all that information is stored, and it protects us from cheating, and then we go from there.
Yep, I think I don't disagree with that. I think we should do that. I do think that there should still be in-person events.
Yeah, I'm not considering disregarding those.
I think there should be heavier utilization of online infrastructure.
Yes.
I think that's where I lie, because I think it's an experience to go to a regional. I went to St. Louis. I thought it was a cool experience. We've all been to nationals. That was a cool experience. But I do think there need to be more online opportunities. Especially for people who can't travel, because I think traveling is really a big barrier to entry.
It is. Having a Switch and having internet, or having a computer and having internet, is nowhere near being able to have the time and money to go to events because it's not, remember guys, this is not you just go once a month. No. If you actually want to make it to championships, you gotta invest a lot of time and money and go every week in every activity you can hear of, because you need as much points as possible to be able to make it. People just don't have that time and money. Just do it online. Let people who don't have that time and money but do have the skills participate also. Why not?
Yeah, I absolutely agree. And especially when it comes to world travel budgets, the thing I can think of, the one that would be a very anecdotal case that I think would be really cool to have would be, imagine that kid that is really good at Pokemon, but he's poor. He has the Switch and the internet connection. That's it. Right?
Yeah.
And he does really well in a bunch of online events. So well that he wins an invite to Worlds with a travel stipend.
Yeah. You know how much of an underdog
you know how amazing that would be?
And people love it. People are like, yes, do it.
You can make a movie out of it.
Yeah, honestly.
It's like the modern sports movie.
Right. The modern esports movie.
That's what I would love to see, though. I would love to see that opportunity be available.
And I want Thatch to be the coach doing the speech.
Oh, you can make an amazing movie out of it. Half the movie is, live action, and half the movie is a cartoon version where he has his actual team and he's traveling through the world of Pokemon in his mind. Oh my gosh.
And Thatch is listen here, dummy bears. This is it.
Over
this
a Skype call.
day.
Over a Skype
call.
But on that note, thank you for that email, Big Cat Bruce. If you want the Green Taurus badge, make sure you notify us on the Discord and we'll give it to you. We're going to go ahead, though, and I guess end the show here. If you want to email us next week at Pokemon or puclpodcast@gmail.com, let us know what world building feature you would like to see come back, or something that you miss in Pokemon. Send that in to puclpodcast@gmail.com. If you want to keep up with us during the week, a great way to do it is 1, join the Discord. 2, you could follow us on our social medias over at Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. If you want to help support the show in a couple different ways, you could go over to YouTube and just watch the videos and appreciate us. There are more videos coming out. Like we have a schedule. Sigma and I are working on some stuff. It's very exciting. We started doing some TCG stuff together because I've just been wanting to get back into TCG. I'm sure we'll drag Jushiro into it inevitably.
Oh yeah. And
then we're going to, of course, if you want to watch us live, you can go over to twitch.tv/thepuclpodcast. I know I'll be live on Thursday. We'll see. We have to work on the Twitch schedule, but I'll be there on Thursday for sure, if not more, because I'm lonely. And following that up,
that was a cry for help, guys.
If you want to support the show monetarily, you can do so by going to Twitch, dropping a Twitch Prime subscription. That's free if you have an Amazon Prime account. You can also go ahead and go to our TeePublic Store, buy anything there. It helps support the show. You could buy some ramen from Vite Ramen. I know they've got some spicy noodles coming very soon.
Oh, I envy the spicy noodles even more than I envy the regular noodles. Oh, I want them so badly.
They are coming soon, so go over to Vite Ramen and use code PUCL for a 10% discount at checkout. And on that note, I think that is everything that I wanted to cover.
And Big Cat Bruce, congratulations on Green Tars badge.
Yeah.
Before we forget.
No, I already did that. I didn't forget.
Oh, we did?
Yeah, you weren't listening.
Oh.
And patreon.com/PucklePodcast if you want to donate to the show, get some Pokemon giveaways, go use the Puckle Breeder Bot so that you can make whatever Pokemon you want. Go check that out. We appreciate all of our patrons and their support. And on that note, here in the Lavender Town Radio Tower, I've been Trainer Thatch.
Some say I've been Jushiro.
And I think everyone agrees that I have been the Fluffiest Whimsicott.
And it's closing time.
Flip side.